Hello, scrappy friends. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. We are going to work today on page 7 of the sketchbook, and it's right here. So their recommendation is to have a base page, and mine is going to be this. This will be my foundation, the background piece, and I'll be bringing in this beautiful green piece as my strip of paper. And we're going to cut that at 2.5 inches. And they have it right off here to the side. I probably would turn my stripes going that direction. And there you go. See, keeping it real simple, right? And then that border you can change up however you want. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to change my border, but I'm also going to change the direction of my strip, and my strip will be down here at the bottom. Okay, so what am I going to do for my border? Well, since I just got this paper and this collection, I wanted to use the tools that came along, that were released along with it, which is the Tree Line border making cartridge and the Snow-Capped Mountains border punch. Okay, let me start off with the border making cartridge. Okay, I just need 1 row since I'm only making 1 page today. And for this, I just want a small amount. This is an edge punch, so you do need to trim it off. Then you get to decide how much of a border down below it that you want to keep. And I'm going to keep it really thin today. I'm just going to do 1 inch. And you'll see I just got a very thin border. For the mountains, I'm going to bring in this piece of brown. This just came out of my stash, so I apologize. I do not know the color, the exact color of it. I'm just going to punch out 1 row. Again, this is an edge punch. You have to trim it off the paper, but this time I'm going to go to 1.5 inches. Looks really elegant once you pop this or put some color behind it. So I'm going to bring in this blue, and you see how those mountains now really just stand out. I'll do 1.25 inches because I do want a little space between the ridge of the mountaintop and the top of the paper, just to kind of give it, like I was saying, almost looking like sky. Okay, so there's my mountains, and then I want to take my trees and line them up like this. So now you're seeing why I've turned my paper to be horizontal instead of vertical like in our sketch. So let me bring back in my trimmer and the green, the dark green, because I do want to cut some photo mats. Now I'm going to cut my photo mats 4.25 by 6.25. Let me bring in my photos. You see, having a nice wider border is super pretty, and I have lots of room on this page because it's a wide open area. But that's what I was trying to explain. Like, this whole area could be used for photos, and you can really get a lot of photos on here if you didn't want to follow the recommendation of the 2 4x6s. Okay, so I am going to overlap like they have. I'm first going to bring in my journaling card because they had their journaling card on the border. I don't know if mine would look that great, so I'm going to bring mine up here with the photos. Dead space on this photo that I'm okay covering up here. I like the fact that she's on that huge boulder, so I would like to keep that. I'm going to put 1 up and 1 slightly down. I'm totally okay if it runs into my border. And then I'm going to take my journaling card. This came from the Setup Camp. I think most of my embellishments came from the Setup Camp collection, so I think they pair very nicely with the Nordic Winter. And so that's going to be my journaling card. In their inspiration and in their sketch, they have a little embellishment cluster on top of one of the photos. And I liked that, but I am going to drop it down just a bit and bring it over here on top of the journaling card, just so it kind of all coordinates together. Let's go ahead and begin that. I brought in, I think you've all seen my little leaf box. I just went into my leaf box and cut some leaves. I also went to my die cut machine and cut some little tags. This is paper scraps from the setup camp. I don't have scraps from this collection yet, so I went with these, and I like their idea and their inspiration with the little tags. I really like that, so I wanted to go with that. But you really could do anything. What I would recommend is to do 2 different sizes of whatever you choose. So like flowers, you could put flowers. As I would do 2 different sizes. I also would do 2 different sizes of hearts would be cute. Also, in the sketch here, they show 2 banners, and I like that too. But I'm gonna go ahead and go with tags, and instead of hanging it off the edge of the photo, I'm gonna bring them right down here and kind of hang them on top of the journaling card. Now I have this pine cone here, which is perfect, and I did pick it out because it's outdoorsy and they're amongst all these pine trees, but I'm okay if I eventually cover that up. Now for the border, I'm going to place it about just a little overlapping the green. So let me move everything up and move this one over just a tad. There we go. So I have the big tag, and then the little tag will go like that. Then I'm going to bring in some leaves and tuck them just behind my tags. And I just went with a bunch of multicolored leaves, random things that I found in my little box of punch outs, and I just went with 3 different colors just to kind of bring in more colors and more punch of interest there. So I have like the white one that was cut on pattern paper, and then some solid colors. Next, before I finished up my cluster there, I do want to bring in my title, and I just found this in my stash. It says Explore. These are my daughters out exploring Yosemite. Even though they've been there several times, they're still out exploring. So I'm going to place that right here. Now I got that idea from there. You can see they put their title right on top of the photo. I didn't really want it on top necessarily because I feel like it's going to get washed out, but on top of the brown and touching the matte, I love that idea. Okay, then I'm going to bring in 2 of these enamel or epoxy arrows. These are also from the setup camp. And I'm just going to put little arrows going like this. I feel like outdoors photos and hiking photos, always fun to have arrows. So I will line those up and they'll look like that. Over here, I want to do just a little bit more embellishing. And so I brought in a couple more things from that same collection. This one is a little epoxy that has like mountains and trees in the background, which I thought were perfect. It happened to be snow-capped mountains, just like I used here, and a little tent because they were tent camping. And I'm putting it right there between those 2 sizes of tags just to kind of join them together and make them more cohesive. And then the last thing I wanted to bring in was this little banner that says camping, and I loved that, so I'm going to put that, probably slide these down a little. There we go, just like that. There we go. I think it looks pretty close to their sketch. I just changed it, the orientation around a little bit, and I also think that since I changed the orientation around, I probably want to come back up here and put a piece of maybe this green, like a little thin strip, just to kind of give it a top right there. And then that's going to be my layout. I'll put some journaling on here and get this one in my book. But let me first show you how I would probably, well, it won't be really a show. It'll just more be how I would create probably a second page. Let me get rid of the sketch for a moment. There we go, and I'll slide this one here. What I would do is I would bring in the other piece of the brown that we used here and more of the green. And I know for this trip, I just don't have them printed yet, but I had several more vertical photos, and I had a mix of vertical and horizontal photos, so I really could go either way. So I would probably take a strip of like 4.5 inches here and then put the vertical photos like that, and then just photo dump the rest of whatever photos I wanted to get on the layout over here. And that's what I would do. I would do more of a photo dump. That's what I like to call it, where there's not a lot of decoration here. I probably would bring over one more little embellishment area, but mostly it would be the remaining photos. I feel like my decorative elements are here. My photo dump would be here. I also could turn it down at the bottom, have that wide area, and put horizontal photos here, and then the same thing, put vertical photos up at the top. So that's what I would do. I love doing that kind of concept, and I hope that gives you some idea of how you could create this into a 2-page spread if you wanted to. So that's all I have today for Workshop Wednesday. So thank you for joining me. I hope this inspired you in some way to pull out that book, use some of those sketches, keep those layouts simple, and get your pages done. Bye, everyone. I'll see you soon. Take care.